Now in NAS environments there's no concept of LUN masking. However, there are still loads of security options. Security options that often go further and are more extensible than the binary allow access or deny access that we have with LUN masking. For instance, in NFS version 3 and earlier, mount requests can be allowed or denied based on the IP address of the machine requesting the mount. These permissions are known as export permissions, though it's universally accepted that this is an extremely limited and an extremely weak line of defense. With NFS version 4 and later, the export permissions model is changed so that mount requests are controlled based on the user account making the request, rather than the IP address of the machine making the request. NFS version 4 also implements extensible access control lists that are based on the Windows NTFS model. These control user access to files and directories, and these ACLs or access control lists work on a deny unless allowed model. Basically, in order to access a file or directory, your account has to be explicitly listed on the allow list. As well as better access control lists, NFS version 4 also mandates support for authentication, integrity, and end-to-end encryption using Kerberos version 5. And mandating support means that all NFS 4 servers and clients must support authentication, integrity, and confidentiality. Now, whether or not you choose to deploy these technologies is entirely up to you, and it should be driven by your particular security requirements. In the Windows world of SMB CIFS, share and NTFS permissions are used, and work on the same ACL principle as NFS version 4, where if your name isn't on the list, you're not accessing that file or folder. But because SMB CIFS utilizes both share and NTFS permissions, it's important to understand that the combination of these permissions results in the most restrictive permission being enforced. For example, if you use NTFS permissions to allow a specific user account access to a specific file or folder, but you then deny access for the same user account with share permissions, the user will not be allowed to access that file or folder. And of course, share permissions don't allow you the granular control that NTFS permissions do. Share permissions only allow you to control access to shared folders and not individual files.